serial killer. Welcome to Thai Local Tales, the podcast that takes you on a journey through Thailand's legends, folklore, and the lesser-known stories of its history. I'm Captain Piroj, your guide on this adventure. So sit back, relax, and let's begin today's story. The story of the serial killer goes like this. In 1962, there was a boy named Asan, short because he was small. His mother remarried, and Asan lived with her. He was frequently beaten by his stepfather. His mother didn't dare say much because she was very afraid of his stepfather. She often said that if it weren't for him, she would starve because she couldn't work the farm alone. His biological father had gone off with a widow from another village and no longer cared about Asan. Therefore, his mother loved his stepfather very much because he was single and hardworking. Some days, when Asan spilled food, his stepfather would slap him or hit him on the head. San didn't go to school. His stepfather would have him sit at home, stripping jute stalks, drying them, and then his stepfather would load them into a boat and take them to the sack weaving factory every evening. After the rice planting work, his mother and stepfather would cut jute stalks and bring them home for San to strip. When San was 14 to 15 years old, he told his mother that he wanted to become a novice monk so he could get an education. His mother agreed because she had seen her son suffer since he was 6 years old and saw this as the only way to make his life easier. However, his stepfather did not agree. "Hey Shorty, you're thinking of running away and becoming a monk, aren't you? You're too lazy to work, aren't you? I raised you, and now that you're grown up, you're thinking of quitting your job?" That's what his stepfather said. "Ah," the short boy said, "No, Dad. I just want a good opportunity. Maybe I can learn to read and write. That's why I want to become a monk." "Dad and Mom will get married too." "Shorty, I'm not a ghost that needs to beg for merit from you. You're old enough to argue with me now, huh?" "I'm not arguing, Dad. I really want to become a monk. As a son, I want to repay my parents' kindness. I was born a Thai person, a Buddhist, so I have to become a monk, Dad. I'm not your father." "I don't expect merit from you. I won't let you become a monk." "Brother, please let him become a monk. I beg you," his mother pleaded. "I won't let him become a monk. Let him stay and help with the work like this." "Dad, please don't stop me. I'm determined." "Okay then," my mother said. "Let him become a monk, brother. I'm his mother. I give my permission." The stepfather turned and slapped the mother, sending her tumbling headfirst. He grabbed the long stingray tail that was tucked into the wall and whipped the mother with it. The sharp edge of the stingray tail caused her arm to bleed profusely. The mother cried out in pain. The stepfather then straddled her, pinning her down and beating her until she writhed in agony. The mother screamed for help. Neighbors ran over, armed with knives and sticks, thinking it was a robbery or an attack. Instead, they found the stepfather, beating the stepfather relentlessly until her body was covered in cuts and bruises. "Hey, that's enough." The neighbors pulled the stepfather apart. "We thought burglars had broken into your house and you were fighting amongst yourselves." "You're beating your stepson like that? What did he do wrong? You've gone too far. If this happens again, I'll call the village headman. Beating him with a stingray tail like that hurts a lot." "Yeah, I just used the stingray tail to beat them today. They're grown up now, and they're being ungrateful." The villagers already hated the stepfather, so they didn't want to get involved and went home. San was in pain all over his body and filled with resentment. His mother found medicine and herbs to apply to his wounds. Not long after, the stepfather took San to work as a pottery maker. Because he was small and shorter than the others, he was often bullied by the other workers. San didn't dare fight back. Juab was the worst. Seeing that San was younger than the others, he made him work hard. Sometimes, while sleeping in the house, he would be kicked out of his mosquito net, or his pants would be hidden. After San finished bathing and couldn't find his old pants, he had to wear only a loincloth, and everyone would laugh at him. Shorty kept his bitterness to himself. Some days he would sneak to a dark corner, wondering why he had been born into such hardship. Only his boss showed him kindness, often giving him snacks and clothes that the boss's son no longer wore. because he felt sorry for Shorty's small size but diligence. But the boss only came once a week, and that day was Shorty's happy day. He got to eat delicious snacks and sometimes pad thai, which he loved. When payday came, his stepfather would take all his salary, leaving nothing for Shorty, because he thought the boss provided him with food and had a wife and children who cooked for the 7 or 8 workers. The woman who cooked with her husband and son never mistreated Shorty, but they always gave him tasks. Washing a huge pile of dishes in the evening, my aunt is too lazy to wash them, even though she gets paid a monthly allowance for cooking rice. Shorty found a knife and really liked it, but it was very old. Whenever he had free time, he would sharpen it on a whetstone in the kitchen until it was razor sharp. Then he would wrap it in cloth and hide it in a fertilizer sack that his boss gave him for clothes. When Shorty was 19, he was a full-grown man, but still not taller than 150 centimeters. He endured working without spending any money for 4 years. This was during the New Year period, and he finally received his salary. He also had several days off, so he wanted to go home to see his mother because he missed his stepfather. When his stepfather came to collect his salary, Shorty refused, saying he would take it to his mother himself because they would go back together for New Year's. It takes no more than 3 hours to walk home, but along the way, my stepfather cursed at me, saying that the older I get, the more stubborn and ill-mannered I become. He said he wouldn't give me my monthly allowance anymore, and that he couldn't rely on me anymore. "Shorty," he said, "Dad, I just wanted to give the money to Mom for New Year's. I haven't been home at all this year. I only just asked to come home this year. Every year I never go back. I always have to stay home and watch over the house with just one worker. Please don't scold me, Dad. I'll give you the usual amount next month." His stepfather replied, "Good. It's good that you think that way. You're just a little puppy. Don't think you can be disobedient to me. I hope you'll remember the taste of a stingray's tail, Shorty." It happened. Shorty thought back to the day his stepfather beat him severely, to the day his mother was slapped and beaten. Shorty slowed down, his stepfather walking ahead. Shorty pulled a knife from an old bag, the one his mother used to put his clothes in when he was sent to work. Shorty stabbed his stepfather from behind repeatedly. The stepfather, caught off guard, fell, unable to get up to fight. Shorty straddled his stepfather's body, who lay face up, and slit his throat, killing him instantly. He left the corpse there. Shorty took off his blood-stained shirt, wiped the knife clean, changed into his own clothes, and used a match his stepfather had kept for lighting his tobacco cigarettes to burn his clothes. Then he returned to his mother. The mother and son were overjoyed to see each other. After giving his mother the money, the son cried, and his mother also cried, happy to be able to hug him. The son's rough, callous hands wiped away his mother's tears. After a while, the mother remembered that his stepfather had left the house, probably to collect his salary from the son. She asked if he had seen his stepfather. The son replied that he had hitched a ride with the villagers by boat and therefore hadn't seen his stepfather because he had gone in a different direction. That evening, someone came to tell me that my stepfather had been found murdered in the middle of a deserted road. My mother was very shocked, so I took her to see. Several people went with us to help carry the body to the temple. The elders came to see the body and told my mother to report it to the police. After that, we had to have a neighbor row us by boat to get to the police station, which took half a day. I stayed at the funeral. The police questioned my mother, but they didn't get anything concrete. My mother said that my stepfather was a blunt and outspoken man, and not many people liked him. She assumed he must have said something offensive to someone, and that's why he was murdered. Since it was in a remote, underdeveloped village, the death didn't become big news. It was probably just a meaningless death. The police were more interested in suppressing notorious criminals. My mother arranged the funeral with 5 nights of prayers, and then the burial was done according to the old-fashioned customs. If someone dies a violent death, they will be buried in the cemetery and not cremated immediately. Afterward, they will return to their old job. My mother lived alone, so she hired people to work the rice fields in her place and asked us to share the harvested rice with her in lieu of rent. I would give her my monthly salary. Later, my mother became a nun and said she would never leave the monastery. I was often kicked and beaten by Jua, one of the workers. Especially on days when Jua was drunk, he would often pick a fight with me. Jua was tall, big and ugly, and he didn't have a wife. He had been bullying me since I first arrived. I endured it because I knew I couldn't fight him off. The other workers called Jua boss. It was late tonight, and Jao was still sitting alone, drinking. Everyone else had gone to sleep. San was almost asleep too, but he needed to pee, so he left his room. "Hey, you're still not asleep, you little puppy," someone said. San didn't answer. So, Hua grabbed a bottle of white liquor that was rolling beside him and threw it at San, narrowly missing his head. "Ah, short, finished peeing, then going to bed." Didn't respond. "Hey, you little dog. I asked you a question, and you're not talking? You think you're so important? I'm a bit drunk today. Otherwise I'd kick you down, you little dog." "Brother you are. Please don't call me a little dog. My mother is a nun now. Calling me that isn't good. Think of it for the sake of a nun." "That's your mother, not mine. Believe me, I don't respect that." Zhao's son, enraged, grabbed the same knife that had killed his stepfather. He crept up behind Juab and slashed Juab's throat, blood gushing out. Juab fell backward, his mouth agape, his body twitching before becoming still. Zhao San, with sadistic pleasure, stomped on Juab's mouth, showing no remorse for Juab's lifeless body under the lamplight. He washed the knife, gathered a few sets of clothes into his bag, and walked to the pier at 4 a.m. It was already crowded with people waiting for long-tail boats to go into town. It took Zhao San several hours to reach the pier. He then boarded a long-tail boat into town, transferred to another boat in a different province, and found work at the fish market. Because of my short and small stature, I was often bullied, sometimes having my head slapped when I walked past. I endured it, working hard, sleeping by the fishing pier, and when it was cold, I'd cuddle a stray dog for warmth. It was much colder back then than it is now. I suffered for months until I had enough money to rent a house. I worked there for a year. I didn't know what was happening back home, but I was comforted knowing my mother was a nun. By now, she must know I killed someone. The police must have issued an arrest warrant, and the conscription notice must have arrived. I would cry myself to sleep, my hopes of becoming a nun shattered. After work, San would go eat at Nong's mother's curry rice shop. Nong's mother is 10 years older than me, San. She has no children. Seeing that San was innocent, didn't drink alcohol, and didn't smoke, she tried to flirt with me in every way. San was infatuated and gave her all my money. I worked tirelessly because Nong was my inspiration. One day I got sick and took time off work, planning to go home and sleep at Nong's house as I had recently moved in with her. When I arrived at the curry rice shop, I saw only the shopkeeper working. I thought Nong must be tired and resting, so I walked past her and went into the house without the shopkeeper seeing me. As I walked into the house and was about to open the bedroom door, I heard a man and a woman giggling softly. I stopped and eavesdropped, hearing Nong talking to the man. "Brother, bring some food with you tonight. And don't stay too long, or that fool will finish catching the fish and see us, and then I won't get any money from him. Next month I'll give you money to buy a new house. Once I'm established, we'll run away together. I'll just sell things here for a little while longer." Shorty's heart almost stopped beating. He crept to another corner to watch, peeking until the two came out of the room arm in arm. The young man was about the same age as Nong, handsome, well-built, and looked like a soldier. They sat down at a food stall. Nong brought her rice and curry, and they sat down to eat. Shorty grabbed a knife, crept up behind him, and slashed the young man's throat. The razor-sharp knife severed his windpipe, Nong, and everyone else were shocked and screamed. Nong ran away, but Shorty caught up, grabbed her, and stabbed her repeatedly. People in the market screamed. Police from the nearby station rushed over. Shorty used a knife to slit Nong's throat, then surrendered to the police. He was then sentenced. Execution. The last thing San asked for was to see the nun one last time before being executed. The police brought the nun to see San one last time. Oh, what terrible karma caused a good person like San to suffer such a fate. He had to become a serial killer. His unfortunate life finally ended, even though everyone who was killed deserved to die. But San was still going to be executed. Thank you for listening to Thai Local Tales. I'm Captain Piroj. Until our next journey together, take care, stay curious, and I'll see you in the next episode.